Can I talk about you for a second? Do you care?
It's about to get awkward.
Okay. I mean, we're pretty much open.
No. Nope.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to help you, my bad.
What?
I didn't even know we were going.
Oh, it's all a secret. You're right.
It's
Sorry. Well, I've been trying to gather information.
Going through mental health to explain what's going on with them when they don't really know.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. My name is Andrew East, and this is a show where we sit down with celebrities, athletes, entrepreneurs, really anybody who has had a significant pivot in their career or life. This is important to me because this has been my experience transitioning from the NFL into what we're doing now with digital media. And today I'm really excited to introduce our guest, Sydel Curry Lee. And you may be familiar with the Curry family. Steph and Seth Curry are both professional NBA basketball players. And so today we sit down and talk with Sydel about her experience growing up in that type of environment and that type of family, and how she overcame her anxiety to start achieving great things, which is what she's doing now. She has her own Facebook Watch show called Sydel Takes On, and she's done so many amazing things. I'm really excited to be introducing her to you guys. You may notice that we're talking a lot about this ASICS Eternal run, and I do want to give ASICS a shout out for making this show and episode happen. We recorded this episode before the run took place. It was a blast to do. Sydel and I both had very little idea of what was actually going to happen during the run, and ASICS did that intentionally because the whole concept was to test your mental toughness and what happens when you put athletes out in a open desert, open field like the Utah Salt Flats, and just tell them to run as far as they can. And so I'll get more information on the Eternal Run for you guys. Again, it was probably my favorite competitive event I've ever done in my life. The purpose of the whole event was to debut ASICS' new shoe called the Glide Ride, which is a super energy efficient and energy saving shoe, which is really important for me as a big guy. I weigh 230 pounds, and long distance running can really take a toll on the body. So anyway, shout out to ASICS for making this happen. I'll get you guys more information on the Eternal Run in a little bit. But without further ado, I just want to introduce Sydel Curry Lee to you guys. Enjoy this one. And if you want to find out more information about Sydel or ASICS and their new Glide Ride shoe, you can check it out in the show notes down below. Well, Sydel, thank you for joining me on the show. It's a real treat. We're sitting here. I wish we could have the mountains in the background of Salt Lake City.
So pretty.
It is really great. And did you see the rainbow this morning?
No, I missed it.
You didn't even hear about the rainbow. This is the first you're hearing about it.
Yeah, was it like?
It was a pink sky rainbow. I was like, Utah is awesome. Anyway,
I've seen the mountains though during the winter.
It's so nice.
Snow. Oh, it's
great.
Unreal.
So we're here with ASICS. We are doing what is called the Eternal Run, and I am.
Question mark.
I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous. I don't know how you feel about this.
I guess nerve is a thing. As soon as I got here, my mom was like, it's supposed to be 100 degrees. And I was like, okay, I live in Hayward, California, and I run in like 80-degree weather. And I'm like, okay, I'm in literal hell.
Yeah.
Like the heat is crazy. So
in 80-degree weather?
80-degree weather, right. So when you put 100 plus next to like running,
okay.
And I'm a volleyball player or ex-volleyball player, and all of our stuff is indoors. At least you have like the heat part, okay, because you're outside a lot.
Yeah. But neither of us really have the extensive running background. I'm pretty sure, this whole Eternal Run event is for the launch of the new shoe called the Glide Ride, which are these things that you see on our feet right here. They're launching at the end of September. What? Shawn is Shawn's heckling us. But we're part of this big event where they're bringing in 30, and this is what I heard, world-class runners plus Andrew. Side note, to do this Eternal Run, and essentially I think like it's a mysterious event.
I have honestly no idea. When I heard this from my team, and then we got like the whole background outline of what we know, I'm thinking, you know what, we're going to do this. Our PE tests are putting us through this whole interval thing. It's hard, but I can do that. So I'm thinking we're just training to do it again. And then I don't think that's what's happening. But
yeah. Do you know who Mo Farah, how do you say his name? Mo Farah?
No.
The best runner in the world. We may or may not be competing against him tomorrow.
Oh my god!
Anyway, no.
But I'm hoping the competitive side of me. I told him I'm competitive. So
that's the thing.
As long as I'm like either not the first to give out whatever this is, or maybe the fifth.
Oh, that's your target. the fifth out.
I don't really know what's going on, but
just be counting.
If I'm racing, competitive Sydel is going to be like, you know what? We're not losing.
Yeah.
But,
I do have to admit, like, the competitive side of me has never been so excited because it's such a mysterious thing. I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're just going out there and testing it. But, okay, so side note, that was all kind of a sidetrack. But I want to talk about you. So first thing is, you're 5'10", which puts you exactly a foot taller than my wife. Fun fact.
Wow.
5'10". Shawn is.
Am I the first one?
Shawn is 4'10". I just thought that was an interesting thing. But you grew up in North Carolina.
Yes.
I would love to hear about your upbringing, your family, and kind of the foundation of what makes Sydel.
Well, the foundation is obviously my parents. My mom's sitting here in the room. Hey, Ma.
What up, Mama Curry?
No, so it was the 5 of us, my parents and my 2 older brothers, and we grew up in North Carolina. I was born there. We lived in Toronto for a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. My dad was playing for the Raptors. We didn't really move around that much because my mom has her school, or had a, do you still have, is it still yours since you're retired now? Shout out to her, she's retired. But she's still like owner of it. So she had the school in North Carolina, so we were there a lot. We were always in sports, had a very like religious upbringing. We were in church twice on Sundays, every Wednesday. That's something that I know my brothers consider this as well. It's always stuck with us and has kept us who we are.
Yeah.
Because once you're just grounded in that, in your parents and in church and stuff like that, you just kind of, know what's important in life.
Right.
So yeah, I pretty much grew up. It was a normal life. People always ask me because I don't know if everyone knows, but my brother is Steph Curry and my other brother is Seth Curry, and so they're both really good players in the NBA and living this whole life. And people always ask me like, "What's it like having 2 older brothers who are like famous?" And I'm like, "Do you have siblings?" Same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's just it's really cool though to witness, being able to witness their successes and all that kind of stuff.
A couple of things. So on your YouTube channel, which I'm the newest fan of.
Thank you.
We're subscribed. There's 4 topics you talk about: faith, fitness, fashion, and mental health.
Yes.
Looking forward to talking about mental health in a little bit.
Absolutely.
But it does seem like faith is a big kind of recurring thing in your life. So you said that's come from your parents?
Yeah.
Cool.
My mom was definitely a huge advocate for that. But it was more so up to a certain age, she allowed us to decide what we wanted to do as far as she had given us this foundation in the church and in the Bible. But once we got to being a certain age, it's like it's your turn to just make it your own and create that relationship, because that's what's most important to me. Every person's relationship with Christ is different, but once you make it your own, and each person has their own struggles and their own journeys, and that really is what builds it.
Cool. The second thing is, I was watching this throwback video of like the Curry family.
Okay.
And you must have been 5 years old. Do you know this video I'm talking about? It's like you guys on a basketball court.
Where I took the ball from Stephen. Yeah.
You were balling out.
It was in Toronto. Yeah.
That was sweet. That was really fun to watch. I
don't really remember that ever happening. I don't remember that. I might have been like 6. I was 6 when we lived in Toronto. I was just like, it's my ball. Like, y'all have your own ball. This is mine. Don't touch it.
No, I'm the middle of 5.
Oh,
so I'm
wow.
the third in line too. We're different because you're the youngest. So like maybe a little more spoiled than I was.
Just
but
a little bit.
So anyway, so your mom played volleyball at Virginia Tech. Am I correct?
Yep.
When did you get into volleyball?
So I went to my first volleyball camp as 6th grader, but I played basketball all the way up to high school. And then once you get to a certain point in your high school years, volleyball and basketball are in the same season. Volleyball club travel and basketball high school is in the same season. And to get scholarships, like you have to be on an AAU team and a club team so that coaches can see you. And so I couldn't do both. I had to pick. And so it was between basketball or volleyball. Which one did I want to do? And I landed on volleyball, like literally because I don't like to run, or I didn't like to run. Like I just was.
The irony of this whole situation is
honestly, it's like
palpable.
It's like you try, and I think it's hilarious because I tell people like I picked volleyball, and then I got to college and we're running like every single day in weights and in practice, and it's just like you couldn't hide from it. And then after graduating from college and having to go into the real world and take over my own health and wellness, which is like the hardest thing in the entire world. Like, I'm sure you guys know, like, it is so hard. Instead of just being able to show up to practice and, okay, we're going to do this, go to weights. All right, we're doing this, this, and this.
Nobody's telling you what to do.
No one's telling you a thing. So that's been a journey, but I definitely know that, like, I can't hide from running. I need to do it. And it also helps with my mental health as well.
Yeah. You balled out at Elon.
I tried. You
balled out. You had I was like reading through some stats. 8th on the assist list. I was watching your sets. I was watching like a little Sydel Curry highlight tape.
There's one of those?
Beast mode. Yeah, there is. You've seen it. Don't lie. Don't lie.
I swear. I don't like watching myself. I don't like hearing myself, which is really ironic that I have a YouTube channel and I'm like in the social media world, because part of me does not like looking or hearing myself, but it's still fun.
We're millennials. Like, this is what we do. It's just like it's all about me.
I've tried the 9 to 5 thing. I just can't do it.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me.
I can't do it.
Tell me what happens after you graduate, Elon.
Yeah.
You have this great volleyball career.
Yeah. So I actually ended up having to quit volleyball early. I had a 5th year.
Okay.
But I ended up getting my 5th concussion during my spring season, going into my 5th year. So my whole career thing just had to start immediately then. But my sister-in-law was opening a restaurant with the Mina Group out in California. So and they had offered me a job to be a corporate manager for the company. So, I mean, it's restaurant. Like, I like food. I worked in a restaurant while I was in college as well. So I was like, sure, I'll do it. So I moved out to the Bay. And I had this job with the restaurant, and it was fun, but it was like I was working like 15-hour days. Like, it was crazy. Dang. And I'm a huge family person. Like, I thrive off of being around my family and my dogs. Like, if I don't have them, I'm literally like the worst person. I'm miserable. And I wasn't seeing them as much, and I was missing. And I was missing out on so much. And so I was like, I can't do this. Like, I was crying every day. So I quit that job, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just decide to do something with the platform that I have on Instagram. Like, I don't have it for any reason. And with today's day and age, you can do stuff if you really work on it. But, once you start out small, there's not a lot of income coming with that, and it's really struggling. And I live in the Bay, and so I have to pay rent. I have so many expenses that I wasn't covering with the whole social media and branding thing. So I didn't quit that, but I also got a job at Tesla. So
I saw that.
Yeah, so I was working for Tesla in the service department, which I loved that job. Like, I loved it so much. It was still long days, but I loved people that I worked with, and I loved being able to come in contact with people every day. But I was falling behind on my brand because I was still working really long hours. But then I ended up getting my show picked up, Sydel Takes On, which I just did with Complex. It's on Facebook. And so I had to quit that job, Tesla, to go film that. And then once I did that, like, a lot of other things started coming up with, like, my brand, and I started really honing in on what I wanted to do as far as a curry girl and, expanding that. So ever since then, I was able to, continue with what I'm doing. And I saved a lot of money with Tesla as well, which helped a lot in the beginning stages of the branding part. But yeah.
You mentioned a curry girl, and for those of you who don't know, she has her own blog called currygirl.com. The loading screen is so great. Seriously.
That one needs a little bit, that site needs a little bit of work. Ever since I started my YouTube, it's just a lot of stuff's been going on YouTube more than my blog. But I have some stuff on there.
So tell me, when did you start YouTube and why?
Well, honestly, the irony in my whole career is hilarious, because when I started a curry girl in general, I had the blog, and I had he was my brand ambassador or manager then. He was like, well, what do you want to do with your brand? And I was like, I don't want to be on YouTube. Like, I don't want to be a YouTuber. That's just...
Ouch, that hurt my feelings.
Because, again, I don't like looking at myself. I don't like watching myself.
Yeah.
But then somehow, I don't really remember. He was like, okay, well, let's just do a Q&A. Let's just do a Q&A, and it's much easier to answer people's questions on video.
Right.
And I'll edit it for you, so you don't even have to look at yourself anymore, whatever. So I did the first Q&A. I got a certain amount of views on that, which was awesome. I was not expecting it at all. And then I kind of was like, you know what, it's not that bad. Like, I like talking, like, people ask me lots of questions, and it's easier than responding to every single person. Like, okay, this is the makeup I use, or this is my skincare, or this is my mental health journey, which was probably my favorite video to date, was when I sat down and actually was able to, like, talk to people about my mental health and, like, my personal journey, which is why I started the whole thing in the first place. I mean, we all love products and brands and stuff like that, but, like, what's the meaning behind it all, and what are we really trying to accomplish? And so I was like, well, why don't I just take the lifestyle part and really put the life part into lifestyle and bring in the mental health part.
Whoa, that's good. I hated social media like I don't know, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And then kind of was forced into it because my wife.
He's saying thank you.
But I've grown to, like, really fully appreciate it, because I truly believe that, like, everyone has a unique message and experience that, like, needs to be shared.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like you finally found yours with the mental health thing. So I watched the mental health video. I hope you don't mind talking about that a little bit, because there's a couple things.
I'm an open book about
Sweet.
that stuff.
Well, you mentioned that a couple things. When did anxiety start?
So it started, okay, I always knew I was interested in, like, psychology from my freshman year in high school. I was like, I want to be a psych major when I go to college. And I ended up being in this, I think I always had a touch of anxiety, but my senior year, like end of my junior year to my sophomore year of college, I was in this, like, really bad relationship. And during that time, I also had gotten my second concussion at the time. And so if you do, like, a lot of research on concussions and how that affects mental health, and then also just me being in, like, this relationship that kind of just sucked everything out of me, adding all of that together, and also having my background of going to classes and reading about anxiety and reading about all these different like, mental health problems that people have. I didn't diagnose myself because I went to someone, because I was dealing with a lot, and I just went and talked to someone, and they're like, that's what it sounds like. But I kind of knew just from, you know, reading about it, and then knowing my feelings, and knowing that, like, I was just nervous to really be myself, or to not say the wrong things sometimes, or, like, I was always social butterfly. Like, if you ask my mom at her school, I think in my report card, they wrote, like, Sydel's social butterfly. She's a good student, but she talks a lot. And when I got maybe to my junior year of college, I just didn't. I partied a lot in college. Like, I had a really good time. I'm not afraid to say that. But there was
Don't listen to this.
No, she knows. I got it from her. But then I got to a certain point where, like, I just didn't like being around a lot of people. If I wanted to go out and have a good time, I really had to talk myself into it, and I had, like, sometimes I would have, like, anxiety attacks in big groups, and I'd have to walk out. So it's just, and that's just not normal. Like, that was not normal for me at all. So yeah, that's kind of how I realized.
That's crazy. I guess I've experienced anxiety. I call it anxiety. My rookie year in the NFL. Mm-hmm. It was like, I think it started with, like, really low self-confidence. And then, like, I love talking with people.
Yeah.
But then I, like, couldn't look anybody in the eye. And then that, like, even lowered myself. And I would, like, literally show up to these team meetings where I'm in a room of 90 people, and we got the head coach of an NFL team standing up there. And I would have to bite my tongue to not literally scream out and yell.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is wrong with me?
No,
what is going on?
I think that's the whole thing with, like, athletes, that in general, every athlete has to have some type of anxiety, because there's just so much pressure that comes with, you know, having to perform well.
Right.
Especially if you really, really care about it. And one of my goals, I know we're going to talk about this later, but one of my goals is to really hone in on, like, athletes and people of color, to try and normalize mental health in a sense, because like, athletes go through, we're more than just, like, a football player, a basketball player, gymnast, a volleyball player. Like, we actually have lives and feelings. And a lot of times especially if you're in a professional setting, people just look at you as like a dollar sign or someone who's going to win this for my town or my country. And there's like so much more about that, especially with injuries. Like with my concussions, by the end, they were like, okay, we probably should wait more than 2 weeks to put her back into the game. But that's something that when coaches and when teams need you, they're like, okay, how fast can you get back? But you want to get back too, and you're like, okay, I think I'm feeling good, but you're not really feeling good, and you never really know if you're really 100%. And we do that with like our actual ailments, like for a broken arm, we can't really go, but you can't really see what's going on in someone's head, and it's really hard to really take care of that.
It isn't. I mean, we really live in such a performance-based society. Like athletes, for sure, where it's like so exposed, but also, I mean, like the job market's brutal.
100%. Yeah.
What do you feel like some of the biggest misconceptions about mental health are?
Honestly, it's more so just like knowledge. Again, it's hard for someone to, especially someone who's going through mental health, to explain what's going on with them when they don't really know what's going on. So if someone's like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you acting like that? I don't know. Like, I have a great job. I have a great family. I'm physically okay, but something's just not right. But also we like to compare our struggles to other people's. And I always say that my mountain is my mountain, and your mountain might be bigger than mine, but I still have to go over mine. And I still have to climb it. And so when we're stuck in a world of social media and all the things where we're just comparing and contrasting our lives to other people, we kind of lose sight of what's going on inside of us. And so I think that's like the hardest part, is really getting people to address it if that's something that they could possibly be dealing with.
Right. That is something you mentioned in your video that I found really intriguing and I connected with, where you said, people look at you, they're like, oh, you had a great upbringing. Like, there's nothing traumatic that happened to me. My family's great. They love me. Why do you have anxiety?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is one where it's like, hey, just because you had this doesn't mean you're not susceptible to something like that. So anyway, I feel like you're sharing a really good message. Keep doing it. So you have a lot of fun projects you're working on right now. You mentioned your show, Sydel Takes On.
Yes.
Well, that has already launched, right?
Yeah, but you can still watch it on Facebook.
Tell me about it.
So the idea came from my ex-manager, Chan, and I. We're still really good friends to this day. We were early on in the stages, and he knew someone that, was a part of Authentic, and so we just went to her, Authentic Entertainment, yes. And we went to her and we're like, he was like, because I was like shy in the corner, like, you go talk to them, I'll do whatever, but just go talk to them. He's like, we want to do a show. They came back with the idea because another thing about my brand is I'm an ordinary girl with extraordinary experiences, and so I
like that a lot.
Thank you.
I'm gonna high five that.
Thank you. So they thought about all the other people out there who are in similar situations as I am, being a sibling of someone who's famous, but have my own spotlight, or trying to create my own spotlight in a sense. And so we did some research and found some really amazing people who are doing their thing in spite of having the comparisons and, like, I don't even know how to put it, but having someone famous.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
And so I went around, and the idea was I wanted to be able to learn something from each of them. So we filmed this in like 30 days, and we went from East Coast to West Coast to everywhere. So much fun. It was tiring, and I was sick every other day, but it was really fun. And so we had Taylor Bennett on there, who's Chance the Rapper's brother. We had Lamine Jope, who is Issa Rae's brother. We had Savannah Ramirez, who's Sierra Ramirez's sister. We even went to, like, nieces of Steve Aoki, so Natalie and Yumi Noonboom. And the list goes on and on. We had, like, 9 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 people on the show. And it was incredible. Like, we just sat down and we talked kind of like what we're doing right now. And we got to learn a little bit about what they're doing with their careers and their life, what they're passionate about. because a lot of it wasn't just like, oh, teach me. With Lamine, he's a rapper, and so we did like a little rap or whatever, which was really fun. But with Taylor Bennett, we went to a local charity that he does for the homeless youth in. Did I say little charity? It's not little. He went to a charity in Chicago, and we sat down and talked with some of the homeless youth in Chicago, which was amazing. And so it was a really fun thing to film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I relate to that because having married an absolute beast of a woman in a good way. I should not say beast, maybe. But an amazing.
Beast is fine, right?
I don't know, sometimes I never know.
Better than animal? I'd rather be a beast than like animal, and that's the same thing.
It's so humbling. It's like, hey, part of you wants to just say, I'm really cool too, guys. Like, but everybody's asking you, like, it must be so great to be married to Shawn.
Do you know what's awesome? Because I was telling someone the other day, I was like, it honestly doesn't bother me, like, because a lot of the time it's like, oh, Steph Curry's sister, like, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, good thing he's a good person. And, like, I actually like, he's just an all-around nice person, and I actually love him, and we get along, da-da-da. Because if I had to hear his name over and over and over and over again, and I could not stand him, that would drive me up the wall. So I'm like, I'm really blessed that I actually like, that we, like, you know?
That's true.
It's we're lucky.
Yeah. Are you saying that I get along with Shawn?
I'm assuming so, unless you guys are really good actors.
Today's episode is brought to you by ClearBank. ClearBank is changing the way entrepreneurs raise money with equity-free capital. Co-founder Michelle Romanow, star of Canada's Dragon's Den, which is a Canadian version of Shark Tank, co-founded ClearBank with her partner Andrew D'Souza after seeing how many companies were willing to part with precious equity in exchange for a bigger marketing budget. ClearBank believes that founders shouldn't give up a piece of their company to fund marketing and inventory expenses. ClearBank makes equity-free investments from $10,000 to $10 million and can get you a term sheet in less than 20 minutes. They charge a small flat fee for the capital, and you pay them back using a win-win revenue share. This is not a loan. There is no interest rate. There's no fixed maturation date, no personal guarantees, no credit checks, and no financial covenants. ClearBank has relationships with marketing agencies, e-commerce professionals, venture capitalists, accountants, and more, giving you a true unfair advantage in the market. ClearBank invested over $150 million in 2018 and is on track to invest over $1 billion this year. Some notable portfolio companies are Public Goods, Lisa Sleep, Latote, and Buffy, just to name a few. So if you are doing over $10,000 a month in revenue, find out how you can receive ClearBank Capital by getting your 20-minute term sheet at clearbank.com/east. That's clear, B-A-N-C, bank with a C.com/east. ClearBank. Stop pitching and get back to doing what you love, growing your business. Today's episode is also brought to you by Native. As Shawn and I look to have our first child, we are really looking to buy high-quality products with safe ingredients. And Native is a deodorant formulated without aluminum, parabens, and sulfates. For those of you who don't know, aluminum may be linked to some serious health ramifications, including breast cancer and Alzheimer, and Native's deodorant is a great alternative to conventional deodorants. It's safe and effective, even though it's priced at a slight premium. I view this as totally, completely worth it. They have over 7,000 five-star reviews. You can see them in the Today Show, Women's Health, Elle, Good Morning America, and more. And Native comes in a wide variety of enticing scents for men and women. Plus, they release new limited edition seasonal scents throughout the year. My personal favorite is the coconut and vanilla scent. And let me tell you, I can be a sweaty, smelly guy during my workout, but Native has proven to me that they can hang throughout my workout. They offer free returns on exchanges in the US, and if you subscribe, you can save 17%, which is $2 per stick, and Native will be conveniently delivered to your door every 1, 2, 3, or 4 months. I think this is a fantastic product, and I think it's worth giving it a try. If you guys want, you can save 20% off your first purchase if you visit nativedeodorant.com/east and use promo code EAST during checkout. That's 20% off your first purchase if you go to nativedeodorant.com/east. Today's episode is also brought to you by BetterHelp. If you've ever felt like there is something that interferes with your happiness or is preventing you from achieving your goals, BetterHelp has online counseling that is there for you. BetterHelp offers licensed professional counselors who are specialized in issues such as depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, grief, self-esteem, and more. You can connect with your professional counselor in a safe and private online environment. Anything you share is confidential, and it is so convenient. You can now get help at your own time and at your own pace. You can schedule secure video or phone sessions, plus chat and text with your therapist. If you are not happy with your counselor, you can request a new one at any time at no additional charge. Best of all, it's a truly affordable option, and for redirected listeners, you can get 10% off your first month with discount code EAST. That's EAST. So why not get started today? Go to betterhelp.com/EAST. You simply fill out a questionnaire that's going to help assess your needs, and you get matched with a counselor that you're going to love. Again, that's betterhelp.com/EAST, and you will get 10% off your first month. In one of your videos, you mentioned that you're trying to answer this question for people. What is a curry girl? Kind of like along these same lines. Have you like honed in on that answer? Like what is a curry girl? It's kind of an ambiguous question, but I'm curious.
I mean, a curry girl is me, and what I am in general is just, I feel like, to be like really vague, I guess, and like surface.
Yeah, let's go.
We can be surface because I'm such a like a family person, very family oriented. So I bask in the fact that I'm a wife and a sister and a daughter and a cousin and so on and so forth. Like I love that, and I love just being that for people. But I also love that, you know, my following can relate to me in a sense. Like I love that I can go into my DMs and see someone be like, oh, like I'm having a bad day, this is what's going on, and I can respond back and have that connection as well. So I love that. I think a curry girl in general is just relatable, but also gives people some kind of sense of like companionship in a world that can be very lonely.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like what I am in general. But you know, I'm a fun person.
Good answer to a tough question. You recently got married.
We just celebrated our first anniversary. Like, what's today? The 5th? Oh, I don't even know if I can say what day it is, but like 5 days ago.
Congrats!
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Married Damien.
Damien Lee.
Name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did you guys meet?
Oh, that's a story. Okay, so Seth played for Duke. In college, Duke University, and Damien had like 3 of his best friends played on Duke as well, and they were playing in the NCAA tournament in Philly, and Damien went to Drexel for 4 years before transferring to Louisville. So we were both at the game in Philly to watch our respective people. I was sitting in the stands with my parents. Damien was walking up the stairs with one of his friends, and I don't remember this. This is Damien's like whole thing. But I remember being there, and it makes sense to me. But we like made eye contact for like 15 seconds, and then fast forward like 2 years. Elon is in the same conference as Drexel, the CAA, and you know how Instagram works. Like they connect people that are in your network. Yeah. And so he like hopped in my DMs. And I think, okay, this is so stupid. There was this page called Attractive Athletes that was on Instagram a long time ago. And I guess I was on that page, and he sent it to me in my DMs, and he was like, oh, I see you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, like, wow. Whatever. But I was dating somebody at the time, so I was like, okay, dude, like, bye, like, thanks, whatever. He, like, invited me to a game to come watch him, and I ended up getting the flu, so I couldn't go watch him because I played at Elon. And then maybe a year and a half after that, he had entered the pre-draft and was in Oakland. And so he texted me because we had just been like friends or whatever, or he might have Snapchat me. And he was like, hey, like I'm in Oakland for pre-draft training. I know you come out here every summer. Like, do you want to hang out? And I was by the way, I was single. I was single by then. And I was on the whole thing like, oh, I'm going to be single for a while. Like, I don't want to date anybody. And I did. My mom's giving me this look. I did say that. Did I not? No. And so I flew out there. I was like, sure, like I'll show you around, whatever. And we went on 4 dates in 5 days, and then the rest is history.
4 dates in 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's kind of similar to Shawn and I's story. I slid in her DMs, not as strong as Damien did to you, but then we went on 2 dates in 1 year. She stood me up for like 9 months, so it was wow. Like it's kind of.
Were you long distance?
It sounds like no. Nope.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to help you, my bad.
Long story behind that
My
one.
bad.
And so I was like looking at your Instagram. I was like, all right, you said you're a mom to Quavo and Nobu.
Quavo
I was
and
like,
Nobu.
she's got kids. She's like pretty young, but classic
Who
dog
names
lover.
their kids Quavo and Nobu?
I mean, Quavo.
Somebody probably did.
One of
They're
my-
actual kids, though. Like, no.
Yeah.
They don't sound like dog names?
There's crazier things have happened. Quavo.
true.
I don't know.
I mean, he was supposed to be named Offset, but we thought that Offset was a little bit too much for a dog.
Yeah. What about Nobu though? Like the restaurant?
No, we didn't name him, so we adopted him when
Oh,
he
I
was
got you.
2. And his name was Nobu, and we thought it was bougie enough to go with Quavo, so we'd keep it.
That's great. I'm glad we kept the bougie
Yeah.
theme. Damien makes some cameos in the YouTube videos. Those are kind of my favorite parts. when
Mine
he
too.
comes in.
And he
He's always
doesn't, he's like, no. He's so funny. Like, he's hilarious. And everyone likes it.
I feel like she's
I
blushing
love it.
talking about her husband. This is adorable. This is
Okay,
great.
now I am.
But you also you just like launched a new wine, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about
I don't
Domain
know
Curry.
why I always forget about that, because that's my favorite project that I've done so far.
Big into wine?
Yes.
Nice.
Very much so. Yes. It's a wine that it's called Domain Curry, Femme 31. I did it partner with my sister-in-law Aisha on it, and we started it because we wanted to partner on something together, and we didn't know what we wanted to do. It was like we could do clothes or shoes or sunglasses, but like everybody does something like that. And then I think we were at dinner one night, and it was my mom's birthday. And Aisha stood up and she gave this like really good toast for my mom. And she had like a glass of wine in her hand. She was like, just like this wine, like it's big, bold, like jammy. Like once you taste it, like you want to keep going back for more. And like this is what we call my mom Grashi.
What? Who's giving this toast?
Aisha.
Dang, that's a
sister-in-law.
dope toast.
It was really good. She's really good at that.
Wow. Okay.
And we call my mom Grashi, and so she's like, here's to Grashi. And she sat down and we were like, looked at each other and we were like, that's what we're going to do. Like, we're going to make a wine that we like, that we can pass down to a women's wine that we can pass down to all the other women in our family. So like the kids, like my nieces, Riley, Ryan, and Carter.
Right.
They'll eventually, if they want to, inherit that down the line, because wine is timeless, it'll never go away.
Right.
And so we have our Cabernet, which we launched almost 2 years ago, I believe. Yeah, almost 2 years ago. We have 3 vintages of that, but the first 2 are sold out.
Wow.
But our 2016 got a 94 rating, which honestly was like crazy. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon, which was crazy because we literally put just what we like in a bottle, and we're newbies to this. We're just putting stuff in a bottle that we really enjoy. And so when we got that rating, we were like, wow, like that's crazy. People actually, that's such validation that people like what we genuinely enjoy. And so we have our 2017 vintage coming out in the fall next month. And then we have a Sauvignon Blanc, which you came out with in last June, which is really good for the summer. So
That's great. I want some right now. I'm kind of like we're not drinking wine right now. Pregnancy.
almost, right?
Hashtag.
You're almost there. How
Yeah,
much longer
I'm really
do you have?
excited. She got me into. I didn't even drink before I met Shawn, and then she's like, "Oh, let's drink wine. It'll be great." And then she'd give me just when I was getting into it, pregnant. It's like, what a tease! What a tease!
She knew what she was doing. That's so funny.
Well, you said you call your sister-in-law Grashi.
No, we call my mom Grashi, and so she was like, "Here's to Grashi," during the toast.
Okay.
But we call Aisha Ishibu.
And you're called Flossie. Is this what I call? is that
Wow,
what it's
you
called,
did your
Flossie?
research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, my
is that?
family calls me Flossie.
It all ends in e's. E's?
No, not on purpose. I don't. Where did that come from? I think it was my dad. My dad just started calling me Flossie, and
Huh. That's it. That's the story.
yeah, Floss.
It's stuck around, huh?
My brother Stefan makes a joke because I might have had like 8 different nicknames growing up, but he was like, "Your nickname is Sydel, Peanut, Princess, Flossie, like all these different names in like one," and I guess Flossie stuck.
That's cool. I like families with nicknames. So you went to school to be a psychologist, you said.
Yeah, I'm a psych major. I still got a little bit ways to go to make a career out of it, but We're not done yet.
It is your goal to be a marriage and family therapist.
Wow, you really did your research. Is there a lot out there on me? Do I just tell everything?
You got to Google yourself sometime. Google yourself.
Yeah, I want to be a marriage and family therapist.
Why do you want to do that?
So it was either between, I wanted to go into counseling, and it was between mental health and marriage and family therapy. But then I thought about, like, you have to think about your self-care as well if you're in this career, because you go in every day and you hear all these people's problems, and if you actually have a heart, you're going to, like, feel their problems too. And I have my problems, and then having to bear the weight of their problems as well. I just know myself, and I know that was going to be a lot. But then my parents they went through marriage therapy, and my mom would talk to me about it, and like just thinking about the divorce rate and just how sacred marriage is. Like, I love being married, and I have really good examples of what good marriages are, and I'm very, very passionate about it as well, because a lot of young people, they're I don't know, a lot of my friends are like, oh, I'll get married when I want to get married, and I'm not pushing it on them. Just how sacred marriage is. It's hard though, right? Like, it's not an easy thing at all. I'm only a year in, and just having like their examples as well. Like, they've been through like a lot, and they've still made it, but with some help. And it's okay to ask for help. Like, that's my whole thing. Even with regular therapy, like, it's not anything to be ashamed of. Nothing's perfect. Sometimes you just need a little bit of help.
Right.
And so you could never have enough marriage and family therapies.
Did you guys do premarital counseling, you and Damien?
We did.
That was the best thing.
It was,
that Shawn
right?
And I did. It was it was like, we did it. It was supposed to be, I think, over 8 weeks. Shawn and I were like 2 days. We did 16-hour days. It was tears nonstop. It was like intense. Wow. It was crazy.
Yeah, we did four, so like a month of it.
Yeah.
4 sessions, and I cried. I'm a crier, and I was like, sorry, it's what you're getting into. But it was great. Like, I highly suggest it. My brother's getting married next month. Seth's getting married next week, and they're doing it now. So, which is nice. So I highly recommend premarital counseling. You think you know a lot about each other, and then you go through premarital counseling. You're like, oh, now I really know you. Hopefully, that's the goal.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Yeah, that is the goal. Do you have anything else you're excited about? Any other goals you're working towards?
I think right now I'm really liking that I have a new team that I'm with, and so we're getting to know each other and have a lot of things that we want to do in the future. So, I mean, I have a lot of ideas, but
I don't want to press.
No.
I got you. Yeah. I'm curious. You've done so much, been exposed to so much, as you said. What are 3 things that you've learned that you can share with the audience that might apply with them?
I think the first thing is, before doing anything, it's just finding that purpose and not just going in there like with whatever, like having a purpose behind everything that you do. And then the second thing going after that would be, once you're in that, don't forget it. Because especially for me in general, in the social media space that I've seen with me, is you go in with the purpose and then you kind of lose it because you're looking at validity and, oh, I didn't get as many likes on this as I did on that one, and
right.
Oh, this isn't performing as well, and then you start like it starts becoming an actual job and really stressful. And with what we do, it's like all about our lives, so it's hard to really do something successfully and be happy with it, especially if it has to do with your life, when you're stressed out the whole time and you're not doing it for the reasons why you started it.
Right.
So for me, that's something that I've really had to learn. I've taken many breaks from YouTube just because I'm not happy with how I am with myself. And I mean, I filmed a heck of things, but it doesn't feel like me. And so not being afraid just to take some time for yourself. And then leading to my third one is just self-care, like take care of yourself. And don't forget about who you are, and don't hold yourself so much pressure. Like, it's okay just to breathe, and because the best things come from that, when you're just like, I mean, times get stressful, and you go through different things. You have to push through them like crazy, but never forget who you are.
Yeah, that's great. So I feel like those are 3 really great takeaways. I'm gonna have to remember the purpose one tomorrow when we're doing our run.
Right. I forgot all about the run. This was a nice like mind changer, because I'm telling you, my stomach has been flipping ever since we got here, and it hasn't flipped once till just now.
Oh man, we can't listen to music tomorrow.
I know.
So
Can't look at no time, right? I saw that on the thing, like you can't look at time.
I'm so excited, but I could not be more. I could not be more nervous.
I'm looking at McDonald's right here, and I'm like, I'm gonna reward myself with a fry.
We got McDonald's over here.
It's right there.
It's also a 3 a.m. wake up call. It's gonna be awesome though. We're going to the Salt
so much
Flats
fun. Yeah.
for the ASICS Eternal run is what we're talking about, and it's gonna be at sunrise.
Very pretty.
You've seen pictures of the Salt Flats?
No, I
What?
I didn't even know we were going.
Oh, it's all a secret. You're right.
It's
yeah.
so
Sorry. Is this... Well, I've been trying to gather information.
You're asking every person that walks by, excuse me, do you know what's happening at this race?
I legit. That's
you
what
dress normal, like in a business suit. What are you guys doing here?
Anybody fill me in here? So anyway, I hope I can sleep in the car tomorrow. But
I think that's the goal.
You can find Sydel and I will be posting about the Eternal Run on our social media. You can find her in the show notes down below, the YouTube channel, everything. She does faith, fashion, fitness. I watch her skincare routine. Shout out Mama Curry for just fantastic skin.
She sometimes makes her debut on my YouTube channel. That's actually, besides the basketball one, that's been my top view.
Wow.
But she said that I have to pay her for her to come back. So if you keep watching and I make money off of these YouTube videos, then I can pay her for her to come back.
You're doing the race tomorrow too, Miss Curry?
Mom, you doing the race?
You're running tomorrow too? Tomorrow morning?
No. I'm cheering her on in case something goes wrong.
I saw your name on the roster. So. Anyway, thank you, ASICS, for giving us this awesome place to be in Salt Lake City.
Thank you.
And I'm really, really pumped to be running these Glide Ride shoes.
They're all broken in, ready to go.
I'm going to be linking those in the show notes as well, and you'll find those on Sydel and I's Instagram. But That's all we got. Sydel, this was really fun.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
This was awesome.
that. It's good to meet you.